I would like to thank the Anglican Parish of Chatham Signet, the Signet Association, and also CETAC for inviting me to this celebration of the Aboriginal community here. Can I just begin by thanking Tess Strong for her work in the country, and also pay my respects to the traditional owners of the land on which we stand, the Malarukidi people of Southeast Nation, those who passed before us, and also to acknowledge their elders, past, present, and emerging. So one of the greatest pleasures of being in Governor of Tasmania has been meeting so many Tasmanian Aboriginal people and learning much more about their culture. Of course, I've read about the Black Wars, the genocide of our First Nation people, but importantly now I'm learning much more about how they lived and about their cultural practices and how these practices have survived and are being revived. And for this I owe much to Auntie Patsy Cameron, who gave me this magnificent shell necklace that I'm wearing this morning, that she made out of mariner shells, black crows, oat shells and toothies. A necklace which I think really very well demonstrates the continuity of Aboriginal cultural practices. And I have to say that displayed in my office at Government House, I have a beautiful kelp vessel made by Nanette Shaw for me and a spear made by Rob Anders, more symbols of the continuing nature of Aboriginal culture. So, as Governor, I've been involved in many activities and events now which have enhanced my understanding of Aboriginal culture. I've participated in Manalagana Day at the Tegrakana Visitor Centre at Cape Portland in the northeast of the state. There I unveiled a memorial to Manalagana, and we saw spear making, basket weaving, string making, and ate mutton fish, crayfish and mutton bird. A wonderful day. I was also very privileged to be part of a smoking ceremony to cleanse the old Queen's Orphan School at St John's Park. And this was at the opening ceremony of Kickstart Arts Centre in 2015. And the purpose of the smoking ceremony, which was led by Jim Everett, was to cleanse the building of bad spirits and unhappiness. And it was a very moving ceremony, I have to say. It's in a place which has such a dark past for both Aboriginal children, such as Lathina and Fanny Cochrane Smith, and also many non-Aboriginal children as well. I've also had the wonderful experience of walking to the Reveau Cave, where we saw the ochred hand stencils, many thousands of years old. And I gained some understanding that for Aboriginal people, cultural heritage and natural environment are one, without the separation that non-Indigenous people make between cultural and natural values. In June 2016 at Government House, we hosted a very historic event, bringing us together for a very special ceremony to accompany giving royal assent to a constitutional amendment to the preamble of our Constitution of 1935, which provides now for constitutional recognition of Tasmania's First People. And last Sunday, I was involved in a ceremony unveiling a new plaque and rededication of the Bruni D'Entrecasteaux Memorial at Gordon Jetty. And in preparation for this speech that day, I read anthropologist Diane Johnson's book, Bruni D'Entrecasteaux and His Encounter with Tasmanian Aborigines. So based upon the journals of D'Entrecasteaux and some of his officers, the naturalist, La Balidière, and also gardener Felix Lahaye, it gives a really fascinating account of the 5 meetings of the French and the people of the Southeast Nation. First with the Lalaquani at Recherche Bay, and the 5th meeting with the Nuanoni of Bruny Island. And I understand that it's important not to romanticise these meetings. Nevertheless, I think what the Palawa people were prepared to reveal to the French is very informative. So during the first sojourn, the Aborigines did not reveal themselves, and avoided contact. However, during the explorations, the French's explorations at this time, 2 members of the crew reported seeing huts and a bark canoe on Bruny Island. And during the second sojourn, the Aborigines allowed contact, and there were 5 meetings with them, 3 initiated by the Aborigines. At the third meeting, the Lailaponi women were seen diving for lobster and shellfish, and it was noticed that they remained underwater for a very long time, and that they used wooden spatulas to scrape shellfish off the rocks and under the water. They returned when their rush baskets were full, threw the lobsters directly onto the cooking fires and boiled the other kinds of shellfish. My pages are a bit clammy in the damp. So I think this ties very neatly in with the Indigenous Fisheries Workshop organised by Emma Lee that I attended last Wednesday at Loughra. CTAC's Tracy Dillon also spoke at that workshop. The concept is to develop a cultural fisheries industry with opportunities for Aboriginal engagement and power sharing in sea country management. I think it's an idea that provides opportunities for retrieval, recovery, and revitalising of cultural practices. So thank you again for inviting me here today to this reconciliation event and recognition event. I understand that CTAC services some 2,000 to 3,000 people from Dover to Kingston, and that this organisation began with a need to care for the elderly in their community. So I would like to commend your work and your association with events such as this, which clearly aim to raise pride in and of the Aboriginal community and its culture. Thank you.